Mein heutiger Gesprächspartner ist Leal Tian, CEO und Gründer von TimeKettle. Nach Stationen bei Huawei und im internationalen Produktmanagement hat er das Unternehmen 2016 ins Leben gerufen mit dem klaren Ziel, mit Hilfe von KI Sprachbarrieren abzubauen. Auf der IFA zeigt Leal mit dem TimeKettle W4 sein neuestes Produkt. In ihr Kopfhörer, die direkt in eurem Ohr übersetzen, was der andere zu euch sagt, und das in Echtzeit. Das haben wir direkt einmal in Berlin ausprobiert und Leal gefragt, ob er denn schon mal eine Currywurst gegessen hat. Haben Sie es schon ausprobiert?
这个听上去很有意思，我还没有，只是我觉得这个名字很神奇，为什么叫猎人？和猎人有什么关系？
Your devices rely on LAMs and also on AI-powered translation. How do you handle that sensitive data that's generated during personal conversations? And how do you ensure that there's transparency and data privacy?
When you buy this product, you already pay for that. So we don't have the motivation that we should leak or use your data to do something that's illegal or harm your privacy, because that's already the business. We have already get the income.
How can a device capture cultural nuance?
You mean how to make sure that AI can understand the emotion, the sarcasm behind that?
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's not very at that stage that can totally understand your tone, your humor. It's because AI is not as good as a real human, right? So it's more like basically on the context.
You announced voice cloning already for next year. Does that mean that I could soon speak Japanese or Chinese with my own voice? What are the opportunities and what are the risks of voice cloning?
That's a good question. Voice cloning is one of the most frequently questions that we have been asked by our users. They're saying that I don't want to hear voice that doesn't like me, or it's too robotic voice. That's natural because with robotic voice, it's unnatural. But we're so get used to use the machine-like voice in the past. So we think about whether it's a possible they can mimic your voice to make sure that the other party that hear your translation can feel it is still you. So that leads to the new technology about voice cloning.
And with your product, you're not only aimed at travelers. Where do you see the biggest areas of application?
That's pretty common that you have language barriers. So what we want to do is that according to the different scenarios, we develop the best product for you. So for nowadays, mainly used for like business, immigrant that want to have a job or want to make friends or live in a different country, and also traveling works. And government or diplomacy is relatively small, but I think we're looking forward to expand this kind of market.
AI-powered translation could break down language barriers, but also be misused. And do you see a responsibility for TimeKettle to regulate or even exclude certain areas of use cases?
All these AI companies have the responsibility to lead the user to the right way. But to be honest, for now, we've seen plenty of our use cases are positive. They're making friends. They can even be in like building a family. So I think that's what we want. If you're talking about negative use cases, I can barely remember any of that.
Is there a personal experience in your life where you struggled with a language barrier that brought you to the idea?
That's a very good question. Now, also related to Europe. Back to 2016, my parents, they joined a tourist guide to their first trip in Europe. They don't know any of the foreign language, only Chinese. Of course, they joined a group. But even though when they go to Mount Alps, there's a golden railway, this kind of thing. But my mother suddenly have a high altitude sickness. She just need to get a medical care immediately. And luckily, there's a doctor, maybe in the train to help her. They said, I think the doctor only speak French, I guess. And when I asked, do you use some translation tools to help you to talk to the doctors? They said, no, not at all. They couldn't even go to a convenience store to buy a bottle of water themselves. And when I asked them why, they said, it's too awkward or it's too complicated to do the operation. People are so fear to communicate with another one. But why is that? There must be a gap. Maybe translation is not the only problem. Maybe when you look from the perspective of the communication, you will see there isn't any product are good enough to help people to have the courage to to talk. So that's one of the reasons that we want to reach out to do something new.
Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward for your next innovation.
Thank you.
Thank you.